Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It certainly does help the channel. Today, we've got XRP recognized as a convertible virtual currency. In addition, Trump posted on Truth Social about Ripple and XRP. You're going to hear about that and a number of other topics as we get into news on the cryptocurrency industry. There is no shortage of news. Let me tell you that. Things are moving very fast. Let's take a look at pricing first before we jump in. Bitcoin sitting at 96,316. Pretty much flat over the last 24 hours and 7 days. Not a whole lot of movement recently. The good thing is we're not going down. It's the consolidation is strong. Ethereum sitting at the number 2 spot. Also flat over the last 24 hours, up 3.7% over the last 7 days, sitting at 2,709. XRP flat over the last 24 hours, up 9.31% over the last 7 days, sitting at $2.61 at the number 3 spot. Tether at the number 4 spot. And Solana has dropped down to the number 6 spot, below Binance, sitting at 170.98. So, not a whole lot of movement in the numbers here recently. Let's jump over and get into some news. First, starting here with Kenny Nugent. He says, breaking news, XRP has officially been recognized as a convertible virtual currency by the U.S. Department of Justice Civil Division and FinCEN. This is terrific news, and he does post, so you know, in the article, in his thread here, he does post a link to the article. So he does have backup. A lot of times you get these tweets and there's no backup for them. So I make sure and try to look to see if they have backup. And Kenny does in fact have the link to the story. I'm not going to go into it, but there is a link to the story here. So you can certainly follow Kenny if you want to dive into that. But that is, or just quite frankly, Google that. That is great news. Coming in from Chad Steingraber, he says Cantor CEO and billionaire financier Howard Lutnick has been confirmed as Secretary of Commerce. No one takes advantage of the United States, says Lutnick. And he is retweeting Mario Nawfal here, who has confirmed Lutnick as well. If you don't know this guy's story, I would definitely dig into it. He obviously is very wealthy, but he's been through a ton. He lost basically his entire company in the 9/11 tragedy and has built it back to greatness. So, and now he's part of Trump's team. So, good for him, and great things to come from Howard, I'm sure. Now, coming in from Good Morning Crypto here, there have been several polls done on X, formerly Twitter, about which coins are the best, which cryptocurrencies are the best. And here, Good Morning Crypto is talking about one, saying, at Patrick Bet David responds to at Gary Cardone, stating, run the same exact poll and see what happens. This comes after Gary criticized the question and results of Patrick Bet David's previous poll asking which crypto has the best long-term technology. And you can see here Patrick Bet David's post. He says, you see the difference is you have never seen me support or promote a coin ever. He's responding to Gary Cardone here. So I'll start there. Gary Cardone says, this is what happens when polls are run by people who don't understand the subject matter. The question is wrong and without measurement. Patrick tweets back and says, my audience is as neutral to this topic as it can be. Something tells me you're biased to Bitcoin, which is fine. I suggest you run the exact same poll and see what happens. So a number of people have done this, and I actually think I'll try to find it for my next video, but Gary Cardone did in fact run this poll himself, and XRP did come out on top as well. So again, I say this all the time. I'm invested in Bitcoin. I'm invested in XRP. I don't think there's any reason they can't both be successful. I don't know why people have to jump to one side or the other. Uh, I think both will be fine. Um, but they run these polls and people start to get at each other. Um, and who knows? Maybe there's something behind it. Uh, my guess is Gary's invested in both as well, Bitcoin and XRP. But we, who knows if we'll ever know that. Anyway, moving on. This, of course, is not financial advice. Do your own research. Kenny Nugent coming back in. He says, breaking news. President Donald Trump just posted this on Truth Media. Brad Garlinghouse is the chosen one on White House Crypto Advisory Board. And see, here is a snap of Trump's post on Truth Social. And it links to an article, which the article here, headline is Donald Trump Effect Bumps Ripple Labs U.S. Deals, XRP Gains. The shift in focus towards the U.S. market is part of Ripple's response to the Trump effect, which is believed to be making crypto more favorable in the U.S. And certainly, I think they're just being more favorable to cryptocurrency in general. And they're letting the technology grow. So, but this is great to see here, and Trump supporting not only Ripple and XRP, but the cryptocurrency as a whole. Now, coming in from Good Morning Crypto as well. This is a great video here. It's a little longer, but I'm going to give it all to you because it really breaks down some good stuff here with Joe Rogan discussing Bitcoin, the reserve, and stable coins. He goes on to explain Tether and how stablecoins can enhance U.S. dollar dominance globally. And then Good Morning Crypto says, how long until somebody explains RLUSD and the XRP ledger to Joe Rogan? I got to imagine somebody's going to be on Joe Rogan's show in the near future talking directly about XRP, Ripple, and RLUSD. But nonetheless, take a listen to this video. It's good stuff. And drop your comments in the comments section.
Two things will happen. One is we have this sovereign wealth fund, which you've heard him talk about, the sovereign wealth fund. Mm-hmm. So in that will be the value of, our public land that the government owns and all kinds of other things. It'll be valued at this astronomical amount. And in that will also be the strategic Bitcoin reserve that the president promised. Now we get stable coins. This is a crazy, crazy thing that's happened. There's this. So a stable coin is a digital dollar. It's pegged to the dollar, so it's always a dollar. And you can pay with this through the internet, through apps and everything. It's already being used all over the world. The only reason it's worth a dollar is because the stable coin company that creates it, they have debt and paper to back it up. So they buy America's debt. They get treasury bonds or T-bills, which actually pays a dividend, so you get interest on that. And for each dollar they have bought in treasuries, they can create a stable coin. So if you look at the company Tether, they have bought more of the United States debt than most countries. They have $160 billion worth of U.S. debt. And for each of those dollars, they've created a stable coin, which now people can use all over the world transacting.
Whoa.
And what's their business? There's like 50 people in the company. So they have $160 billion at 4% interest annually. They're making bank just for holding this debt. So I think President Trump is very smart, and he's seen that we can flood the world with our stable coin, and you kind of get a 2-for-1. So you create a dollar of debt, but then you create another dollar on top that can be used all over the world as the reserve currency. And that should probably result in, I don't know, the Mar-a-Lago Accord or some new monetary system that we're going to have to come up with to really have our dollar be valued properly, but also still remain the reserve currency and remain the strong export country that we need to be. Because, what do? We don't make anything that we sell abroad. We can't all be serving each other burgers and fries and washing each other's cars and cleaning each other's homes. We have to build something. And all of that went overseas. Everything we got, all of the stuff on this table. This, it didn't come out of his butt. This is from China. Although, I don't know. So there's something big coming, really big, and it has to happen. And Trump is a very meta guy. People misunderstand. He's going to refi the country. That's what he's a real estate guy. He's going to figure out a way to refi it, and it'll be digital. And a lot of the Bitcoiners don't like this because they like Bitcoin to be the money that the whole world uses. That may one day happen, but now it's more like the digital gold. You can keep your value in it. And I can send $1 billion if I had it. I could send $1 billion to another country, to another person in 10 minutes, and no one can stop me. So it's a very useful tool, but it hasn't quite turned out to be money or currency the way it was originally intended. But it's going to be a very important part of it. I think you'll see Bitcoin be a part of that strategic reserve. It's easier than sending gold, than, I'm going to ship you $1 billion worth of gold. I need, armored cars, I need dudes, everything, security and the ships and whatever. So it'll be a part of it, and you'll still be able to use it between people. But it looks to me like stablecoin, Tether in particular, is going to be the future of the US dollar payments. And this is where a lot of people on the right, certainly, are very afraid of control grid, because a stable coin is not necessarily like Bitcoin. You can stop it, you can control it, you can see who sent what to whom. There's a lot of fear about this.
There you go. Great interview on Joe Rogan. I agree with a lot of what that gentleman said. However, I don't know that it's going to be Tether. Tether does not have the backing, the one-to-one backing they should have. They're being investigated in the United States. They've moved their office, I think, to Venezuela or somewhere in South America. So Tether has some questions behind it, and I don't believe, from the research that I've done, that they have the proper reserve. So I think once that investigation happens, the shakedown happens, a lot of that is going to move into Ripple stablecoin, RLUSD, and into Circle as well. We'll see how that plays out. But great interview there, and great post by Good Morning Crypto. Coming in from Altcoin Daily, he says, Michael Howe, crypto is the greatest wealth transfer since the 1920s, Germany. Let's take a listen to Raoul Paul and Michael Howe here. This is another good piece.
And I think the analogy, maybe I've used it before, one can extend it dangerously. But if you go back to the 1920s in Germany, where you saw hyperinflation, the question was, how did people react to that? Now, what you saw in the 1920s Germany were the older generations basically buying what they'd always bought, which were bonds, because that was always the safe asset. That's what they've been told. But their wealth got wiped out. Their younger generations were buying equities. They were told by their peers, you're idiots, okay, don't buy equities. They're fragile, okay, but equities went up dramatically in price because they were inflation hedges. So there was this whopping great wealth transfer in Germany in the 1920s for the old generations to the young generations. Now, obviously, there were political consequences. Well, let's not go into that. But the wealth transfer was very, very significant. Now, if you look at what's happening now, I think you're getting a parallel because you're getting a monetary inflation. Okay, we're not having a hyperinflation. We're getting a monetary inflation. The older generations are saying, well, look, what you're going to do, you just buy value stocks, okay? This is what we've always done. That's what's going to make you money, okay? And the younger generations are saying, well, I don't understand that. We're going to buy crypto or whatever it may be, or tech, because we understand that. The older generations are saying, you're mad, and then, once children turns around and say, well, okay, well, I bought Bitcoin at $200, good luck there. This is where you get the wealth transfer.
There you have it. Great post there by Altcoin Daily and capturing that interview. The wealth transfer is coming. Nobody knows the exact time, but there's so much happening that it feels like it's upon us. We will see what happens. Stay tuned to my channel for the latest. I'm going to give it to you straight. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the flip side.